Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of voice for radio, and today I'm here with some genuinely, legitimately exciting news. There is a tournament afoot, and I'll be honest, I'm kind of involved, and it's something I want to tell you about today. And I'm going to give you all the information today, and then in a few days I'm going to start uploading videos of games from this tournament, and hopefully you guys can all get as excited as I am. I am extremely excited. Now, this actually was an idea that came from Dragon Shield, so please don't think of this as some kind of promotional video where I'm sitting here going, everyone use Dragon Shield, they're paying me. They're not, incidentally. I think they might send me some sleeves, but I'm doing this because it's Dragon Shield's idea. They came along to Steffen and they were like, hey, Steffen, we want to run a tournament. We don't want to sponsor a tournament. We want to get a tournament rolling. We want to make it fun. We want to make it different. We want it run by the community, for the community. Here's all of our lovely products. They come in many different colors. Let's throw some ideas together. And Dragon Shield got in touch with Steffen, and Steffen got in touch with me, and between us, we've come out of a tournament which I am genuinely hyped for. We've got an 8 people, and you will know a whole bunch of these people. They're people you should have come across before, and we've made it a bit of a color-coded tournament. Now, let's put it this way. I'm a colorblind man, and I'm hyped about a tournament involving colors. This is a big deal. So Dragon Shield came along and they said, right, here's our product range. What can we do? And Dragon Shield and Steffen and I all worked together and basically came up with this concept of colors. Giving everybody, all of the competitors, a pack from Dragon Shield with a whole bunch of sleeves, playmat, deck box, etc. of a particular color. And then saying, that is your deck. So somebody's going to get given a bunch of green stuff and have to make a grass deck, for instance. Yes. Yes, indeed. Now, they've sent it all out to the competitors. We picked the competitors. I'll go through all of them in a moment. We've also got some extra rules, etc. But it all comes from the idea of, let's all make it color-coded. Now, anyone that wants to support the tournament, great news. TCG Player is a wonderful place to go and get yourself some of these sleeves. I'll put some links in the description. But all the games we're recording are with real cameras and real cards. So in the videos, I'm going to put the links to all of the featured products down below if that's what you're interested in. Sounds like fun. And incidentally, right, I like TCG Player. Now, from a fairly selfish standpoint, I make a lot of videos on this channel, a lot of videos on my other channel about a lot of different games, and TCG Player is a great place to go and get scans from many, many different card games. But actually, it works with hobby shops. And it's a marketplace for 2,500 certified hobby shops. I'll be honest, I did ask them that number. I did not know that off the top of my head. But everyone knows that hobby shops are the heart of these kind of hobbies. Clues in the name, really. It's important. So it's an online seller that you can support while also supporting hobby shops. I cannot be the only one that thinks that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So shout out to TCG Player, shout out to Dragon Shield, shout out to Steffen. We've got something really, really good brewing here. So, what are the rules? Everybody gets a type. However, we've taken away Fairy and we've taken away Dragon. And the reason is extremely simple. Dragon Gym Challenge, giving one player Dragon just seemed a little bit weird. Also, there have been no new Dragon Pokemon in the Sword and Shield block so far. I'm thinking there might not be, but I've done videos about that. So, Dragon seems out of place. Similarly, Fairy had been abandoned by the Pokemon Company, so we've abandoned it, and that gives us 8 types to play with. That's not 8, that's 7. 8 types to play with. That sounds like fun. Now, we didn't record this, it would have been kind of dull, but Steffen and I, we did figure out randomly who was going to be what colour. Steffen got 8 basic energy cards, we picked a player, he shuffled, I told him to stop, boom, that's what colour you're getting. It's all been done completely randomly. Good times. So, that's one of the rules. You are allowed to use colourless Pokemon in your deck as long as it is more of your colour than colourless. It has to be majority your colour. And having colourless is very important because we've got Chinchino, good draw, Pidgeotto, good draw, Oranguru, good draw. And it's important because if we didn't have colourless, there would be some decks like Lightning that had Zeb Striker and had good options to draw, and then there'd be a bunch of typings that didn't. And let's be honest, right? Not all of these typings have been created equal. We've picked 8 good players. We know that some typings are inherently stronger or weaker than others. That is a deck building challenge for our players. But including colourless here was important because it meant that we could give everybody good draw options, and the one thing that could really derail a tournament like this is having 3 decks that can draw cards and 5 decks that can't. That would ruin it in a way that just would not be any fun whatsoever. Now, we are limiting it to 2 of each card, and the reason we're limiting it to 2 of each card is simple. Take a deck like Psychic. You play Malamar. You play a 4-4 Malamar line, you probably stick in a bunch of Giratina. There are some decks in the standard format, and incidentally we are playing standard format Ultra Prism on, up till Sword and Shield, because this will be all done before Rebel Clash comes out. And it was important to us to try and make sure that we didn't open up some players just going, I'm going to play this meta deck, or pseudo-meta deck. Because there are some things you can do, with fighting you could just make an Excadrill deck. And I love me some Excadrill, but the whole point of this tournament is fun and different and challenging deck building skill. So we got rid of that. There is one card that we've banned. It's Metal Frying Pan. And the reason is extremely simple. It's unfair advantage. A tournament like this inherently will be more involved with weakness than other similar tournaments. It has to be. We're making everybody play a deck. And there are ways that you can cover for weakness. I'll leave that up to our players. But Metal Frying Pan just removes weakness from Metal Pokemon. It meant that the Metal player had 2 tool cards they could stick in their deck to get rid of weakness. It seemed overly good. Overly good in an unfair way. Weakness Guard Energy we have no problem with, because Weakness Guard Energy is a special energy that anyone can play in their deck, and it's fair to everyone. Metal Frying Pan wasn't. I have no problem with Metal Goggles, also a metal tool, also reduces damage done by 30. This stops damage counters being placed. I don't see it as unfair. Metal Frying Pan was too far. We have taken away Vs and GXs because they're too good. Everyone just plays GX and V decks. Boo! We don't want it. Also, Prism Stars are fine. And Steffen and I did have a big conversation about this. About whether to include Prism Star cards. We saw no problem with it. Yes, there's that combination of Tapu Koko Prism Star and Thunder Mountain Prism Star that Lightning decks have. But actually, there are other typings that have way better energy acceleration than that. So it's not something we think is going to be a problem. Your type plus colourless, but more of your type. 2 of each card, no GXs and Vs, Ultra Prism on, Metal Frying Pan banned. So that's the format we've got. What have we got in terms of players? And I'll be honest with you, I am psyched about the lineup. Genuinely, I think we got a really, really good lineup. And the lineup's been picked by ourselves. So we vetoed people. Well, theoretically, we could have, that we didn't want. And we've encouraged people that we do want. So let's go through them. Starting off, Joe Bernard. I love Joe. I love Joe so much I invited him to my wedding. Of course, I also invited him to my bachelor party and he didn't turn up, so cheers, Joe. But Joe, he's been an official commentator for Pokemon. That's pretty good. He runs Omnipoke, which I've made no secret of my love for that channel. And he's a really good player that always gets a world invite. Joe knows his stuff. He's a phenomenal deck builder. I'll be honest, Joe is one of my go-tos. When I build silly decks, I go to Joe. He's one of the few people, and I go, Joe, is it any good? Sometimes he says no, but every so often he says yes, and then I know I'm onto a winner. And forgive the somewhat clumsy edit there, because we had a very, very slight change in the lineup. We had a lovely, wonderful, brilliant person lined up, and for reasons beyond anyone's control, they had to drop out, so we've added in Jack. Jack Old. Except he's not actually that old, though I suppose one day he will be. Jack is brilliant. Jack is the other half of Omnipoke. It's Jack and Joe. They're the Omnipoke dudes. Don't worry, we've got them in opposite sides of the bracket. We have totally left it open for an all Omnipoke final. And I'm not lying, that would be kind of cool. Though let's be clear, no favourites here. We're only inviting cool people that we like. Jack has been a very, very good player for years and years. He's very involved in the community. He's been doing social media for various groups around the community. And he's been running Omnipoke with Joe, which, and I think I've said this already, but I love that YouTube channel. Jack is going to be very, very good at this. I'm delighted to have him on board. Birdkeeper Toby, he's our resident celebrity for this tournament. He's got over 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. He goes and talks at content creator events, like up on stage to a whole bunch of people. He's a pretty big deal. Up till recently, he's been focusing on video games and Pokemon facts. Now he's starting to get into the TCG, and that's a good thing because dude's got an eye for this. I'm talking to him a lot recently about deck building and about matchups and swapping ideas back and forth. Trust me when I say you're going to be starting to hear about him as a TCG player a lot more as time goes by. I think he's going to be cool with this. Plus, he's a lovely dude. Alessandro Cremascoli, he's been a very, very good player for many, many years. He specializes in control decks, which is going to give us a different way of thinking in this tournament, which should be fun for my commentary. Did I mention I'm going to commentate all of these games? I'm excited about that. He runs iCatapy, very, very good Pokemon website or YouTube channel. Not someone I know personally, but I have it on good authority from Steffen. He's a great player, good dude, good person we need in the tournament. Josh Marking runs Team Fish Knuckles, a man who once got me out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning to do a metagame discussion over Skype before I went to work. Persuasive dude. He's also played like every deck. I'm not sure there is a Pokemon TCG deck out there from the past like 5 years he hasn't played. Go check his channel if you don't believe me. Dude plays a lot of different decks, which means his deck building skills are going to be pretty phenomenal, which means he's the kind of person that should be involved in this tournament. Pablo Mesa, I mean look, he helped to build the deck that won Worlds in 2004, the same year he piloted the same deck to a third place finish. That gives you an idea of how long he's been doing this. He runs Tablemon, a brilliant YouTube channel that goes in Spanish and in English. He qualifies for Worlds regularly in TCG and VG. There are not many people that can say that. Yeah, he's going to be pretty good at this. David Hockman, David does everything. He's been a high-level player for years, a high-level judge for years. He's been an official Pokemon TCG commentator, and I've had the pleasure of sitting at a desk with him many times. And as far as I'm concerned, he is the world's leading authority on the unlimited format. Anytime I need the unlimited format, I go straight to David. He's also one of my 2 go-to translators for Japanese to English, which is really important in the Pokemon TCG, given that most cards are originally revealed and spoiled and released, etc., in Japanese. I love David, and he's got deck building chops. You should see the level of detail he goes into at times. It's a little bit silly. And we had a few too many YouTubers. We wanted somebody from Twitch, so we turned to Sierra Dawn. Very lovely person, very good Twitch streamer, and very good player. Every time I go on Twitter or Facebook, it seems like she's gone and cut another tournament. But we needed a really good Twitch streamer involved in this. We got her involved. I am absolutely delighted. And I've been talking through with pretty much everyone at this stage involved, and you should all be very excited for the kind of things we're going to see here. This is going to be awesome. Now, all of the games are going to be recorded. When Steffen originally got in touch with me about this, I said, that sounds like an awesome tournament. Can I play fighting? And Steffen went, no, Ossie, no one wants to see you play. Little bit harsh. But apparently people do want to see me commentate. I'm going to be commentating all of these games and posting them on this channel. I've been rushing to get this intro video up because several of the other competitors have been saying, can I post this? Can I post this? Can I post this? Can I post this? Mine's been, no! Wait for us to announce the tournament. So I know that a bunch of the people involved are going to want to post stuff, openings and videos and all of that. I know Joe Bernard wants to actually post an analysis of the metagame for this tournament, which I am genuinely hyped to go and take a look at. And this all looks like a huge amount of fun. It's going to be good. If you want to follow along, following me on Twitter at the Wassy is probably the best way to do so, because everything that anybody does from this tournament, I'm going to be retweeting over there, but I will pop a bunch of Twitter links for the competitors in the description, so you can go and follow them along if you so wish. Also, Steffen's Twitter, because Steffen's a lovely dude. He's involved in this very heavily, so you probably want to follow him on Twitter as well. There's going to be a new game roughly every 3 days, something to look forward to. And I'm so excited. I'm sorry I keep saying that, but I'm sorry, it's genuinely true. To see what they come up with and how they play. So yeah, that's pretty much the intro. That's the tournament, that's the rules, that's who's involved, that's how it came about. Huge shout out to Dragon Shield and TCG Player, because this isn't some kind of sponsored video for them. This is they're putting together this awesome tournament. I've gotten involved. I am hyped. But I'd like to know what you think about all this. I'd also like you to give a prediction of who you think's going to win and which type do you think is going to be strongest in this tournament. So go nuts in the comment section, but please remember the rules. Be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, where we can, well, talk about games. We talked about all of that, and all the usual deal. But the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio. Get hyped for the games. Bye!